My name's Rachel. I was a director of a successful school and office furniture business. The problem that caused us to seek help was cash flow, really. We had a very successful business with a good reputation. We had about £500,000 worth of stock in our warehouse. A lot of this stock came from China, but it would be on the high seas for 8 to 10 weeks at a time, which would use up a lot of cash. We then found this would strain on our cash flow, and we were having to pay more suppliers by pro forma. Because of this, we then found that we weren't paying people like HMRC and the landlord on time, and really it was a classic case of overtrading. The trigger that caused us to seek help really was we factored most of our invoicing, which would give us 80% of cash up front, but clearly we did need more funding in the time. We secured an additional £50,000 worth of money on a loan, but we had to put our home forward as security on this. Well, we were ready to sign on the dotted line, but prior to signing our house away, we did make a call to 4R Business Recovery to take further advice and find out what our other options were. We then contacted Kevin Pritchard of 4R Business Recovery, and he came and met with us. We explained to him that we had managed to secure a £50,000 loan. Kevin put together a cash flow for us which showed that the loan would only service the business for approximately 3 months, after which point we would be in an extremely weak position. He explained we really needed to restructure the creditor debt, which at that time was about £500,000, and that was going to be the only way that we would survive. He agreed that the business was viable for a company voluntary arrangement, and we took this advice from him. Kevin explained that the proposal offer to repay the creditors would be a percentage of the debts, and they would be paid back over a certain amount of time. Once approved, then this would give us the protection that we needed from any winding up petitions, creditor pressures and legal action for recovery of the unpaid debts. The CVA really worked for us. We made a proposal to our creditors which was accepted. It took the pressures off us from legal action, winding up notices, and let us concentrate then on actually running the business again and getting back on track. We proposed 40p in the pound as a repayment to our creditors over 5 years, and this was approved. On the whole, most of our trade suppliers were very understanding on the agreement that we'd put to them. They wanted to carry on the working relationship with us, which was extremely helpful at the time. Some of them didn't, but not everybody is going to want to go forward with you. So we did lose a few on the way, but on the whole, most were very supportive. Yes, we did have a small overdraft with the bank and also commercial funding, but as the banks and the funders are secured lenders, then we just needed to get their consent on the CVA, and luckily in our case they did both consent to it. We did have a couple of vehicles on lease which we wanted to terminate, and the flexibility of the CVA allowed us to do this. We also had a property with a long-term lease on, and again we were able to terminate this lease within the CVA, and any costs associated with that get put into the CVA. The strategy and advice that we received from 4R was perfect for our situation at the time. They got the banks on side for us, the commercial funders, and most of our creditors were in agreement. This then allowed us to carry on with the day-to-day job and get some sleep at night. Surprisingly for us, HMRC did support and approve our proposal, which was a huge weight off of our minds. In our case, the whole process took 12 weeks, but I do understand that this can be done faster if needed. The landlord did take a walk-in possession order over the property that we were in, and this was due to non-payment of rent. Now I'm not sure how they did it, but 4R did manage to get this rescinded for us. The advice that received from 4R was second to none. There was always somebody at the end of the email, at the end of the telephone, could answer any question for us, because obviously at this time it is a worrying time for people in this position, and to have somebody like 4R there to hold your hand is a great help.